Oh, Lord. Guys, listen. At the end of the day, this live took a life of its own and walked in its own direction. But I hope what we get out of this is that, from the outside, a lot of us are watching, right? And a lot of us are observing. And there's times where we go, shit, that's fucked up. Or we might say, damn, I don't agree with that. Or you might say, all right, I'm in her corner on that one, or I'm in her corner on this one, or I'm in his corner on that one. It's become a sad state of affairs where the people that we respect have had to go to the places that we've seen. I really hope that there is some humanity that returns back to these streets. I really hope that there is some, acceptance of responsibility and people are able to move on like adults. But I think it becomes really, unsteady ground when you start bringing children into things. When you start poking a mom, I don't think that that's the best idea. And I don't think that you should expect a mother to then not respond. And I don't mean respond in like, oh, here's a couple words. I mean, respond with a fury of response. We often say, really and truly, we often say, oh, I would do it this way, or I'd do it that way. And we all have an opinion on how we would handle things. But I'll tell you one thing. If I haven't learned anything in this world, I've learned this. That mamas that really and truly love their babies will die for their babies. Judge accordingly to that. And for the subscribers, the viewers, y'all know better. Stop perpetrating it. Stop pushing it. Have a little bit of respect for the kids, right? Y'all can do a lot in this situation by not perpetrating it and continuing it and, encouraging it. Good, bad, or indifferent. Just imagine if it was your child, how you would respond. Once again, I'm going to stand with the people I stand with as a creator, but I also am able to be independent enough that I don't need to stand with anybody unnecessarily. Be better, do better. That's as simple as it can be. Over here at the Elevated Truth Podcast, we've learned a lot of lessons. We've talked about those lessons, and getting into battles between women is not something we're going to do. But I would be amiss as a human being and as a friend if I didn't at least address my perspective on it when it comes to baby Clue. It's a sad day, and this goes for either side, all sides, and anything in between. It is a sad day when you have nothing else to go after another woman for other than their children. That, in my opinion, is the low of the low. You do better fucking their spouse before you go after their children. So I can't sit here rightfully and say, hey, Clue, cut it out or I won't stand up with you anymore. First of all, it wouldn't change anything. But more importantly than that, why would I give her an ultimatum? She's a grown-ass woman. She's a grown-ass woman. Who the fuck am I to tell her what she needs to do or not need to do? Not my job, not my responsibility. But what I do know is that baby Clue didn't deserve it. And what I also know is the other creator, her kids don't deserve it. Point blank and simple. No in between, no over, no under. Spouses, they both have their spouses on their channels. Y'all want to go back and forth. Spouses on spouses, whatever, cool, grown. Y'all can do that till the sun goes home. But one don't make it right over the other and one don't make it wrong over the other. It's wrong across the board. That's where I stand on that issue. But I also know once you push somebody far enough, you are now responsible for the repercussions that come your way from that person. And at the end of the day, everybody's screaming, I'm being attacked, or some people are, maybe not everybody. Yet none of y'all are really being attacked. The kids are, which is bullshit. I don't know, man. I'm not about all the old school morals necessarily, but one thing I wish people would respect a little bit more is you don't put your hands on women and you protect children. You know, that's an okay moral to live by. We can have difference in an opinion in all other aspects of politics and the world and everything else. But can't we just agree that you don't hit women and you don't abuse children? Can't we at least get on the same page with that? We can disagree with everything else, but can't we agree that at the very least can be our come together point where we're absolutely not going to accept it? I mean, that's how I stand. Even if I liked the other creator, even if I was riding with the other creator, but I saw this and I saw that report, no, dog. Or at the very least, I'm going to question you about it. You know how I knew that Clue and Cletus were good people? Because when some bullshit was brought up about me by so said person in here or there, Cletus called me, got on the phone, took Clue off the phone, walked in the other room, asked me, this ain't never been talked about, I don't think, asked me directly about what was being said. There was a name with it. What'd I do? Grabbed my ID out of my driver's license out of my wallet, showed it to him. Boom. You don't know me, I don't know you, but you were man enough to call me. You can ask him. I ain't got no reason to lie to you. So when you talk about some man shit, when you talk about some real human to human shit, that's how he got my respect. Clue got my respect in other ways. But that's how he got my respect, because that's how men do shit. They don't come in swinging. They don't come in ready to fucking battle and we're badass. No. They come to you man to man and say, hey, this is what is being said. This is what I need to know because this is this. Right? And obviously my name was totally different than that person's name. On top of that, you know, real recognizes real. Now, that doesn't mean in any way, shape, or form everything that comes out of their mouth I believe, and everything that comes out of their mouth I don't believe. They're humans too. But what I'm telling you is that in the world I come from, the way you learn respect or value or whatever loyalty you might say to another person is through actions. You and me have seen too many people in our lives that talk a whole bunch of shit and never do nothing. But they're always the life of the party because they talk it. You know who's not the life of the party? The motherfucker who's actually out there doing it because they're too fucking busy to be the life of the party. But we ain't ready to have that conversation yet most times. So I respect. Even if we butt heads and disagree on everything, your approach is more important than anything else, which is why I rub people wrong a lot, because my approach is not graceful. My approach is not, it's none of that. It's real sharp. But that's just because, like, don't y'all get tired of the bullshit? Don't you get tired of the this, that, and the other, and there's five stories to it, and you know, you got to differentiate between what's right and what's wrong. Fuck that. Just keep it solid. Yo, this, boom, 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 boom. But people can't do that. My bad, man. I overstepped my bounds. I was in a bad position. Look, what can I do to make this situation not a situation anymore? That's what grown men do. And then when the motherfucker tells you some stupid shit like, I want you to come rake my yard, you might be like, nah, man, fuck you. I'm not raking your yard. But if you truly value that friendship and you know you fucked up, you better get your motherfucking ass up and be out there raking that man's yard. And you might say, truth, hell no. I'd never do that. I ain't nobody's bitch. That ain't being a bitch. That's showing that your words have actions. Now, he better bring his ass out and tell you to come in and have a cup of coffee and stop you from raking his fucking yard. But even if he didn't, once you got done with that shit's squashed. There ain't no more talking about that anymore. That's been squashed. But that's just not how people are anymore. It's what gets me crazy in my head when people talk shit about felons or when they talk about people that grew up in the streets. Because see, we were taught differently. The way this normal life is or whatever, that's taught with lies and disrespect. That ain't tolerated. But somehow those are the bad people in society. Yet they got real morals. They might be fucking nuts. They might have drug problems. There may be a lot of things. But at the end of the day, they got fucking morals, man. I don't know. I think I'm more comfortable over here with the felons and the rednecks and the whatever else, because I'll always be team underdog, always be team second chance. God knows I've had a couple. God knows I've fucked up in my life. I just wish more people could do it. But then I realize all that sounds great, but YouTube's not real and everything's for entertainment. Let that sink in. YouTube is our world's Coliseum. It is what it is. It's our world's Coliseum. And every day you have battles in the Coliseum. You know, Queen Widow, I'm doing good, thank you. But just a little bit for you to think on. So, I didn't talk so much, my cigarette went out. Listen, guys, I don't know shit. I'm just a man with an opinion. You know what I'm saying? I'm nobody special. I don't hold no fucking rank over anybody. My opinion is not more correct than yours is. You know what I'm saying? I simply am another human just like you, who struggles in this world just like you, who don't mean shit to most people just like you, right? But the ones we do mean shit to, we value and we love and we fight for, and we put up with the worst of the worst sometimes because our love is true. And that's the kind of people that find themselves comfortable at the Elevated Truth podcast and within this community as the Rooster Squad. And that's just facts. And typically, the ones who've never experienced a rough life, the ones who had a good, bringing up and had all the good stuff, they don't fit in well over here most of the time because they just don't understand how to respect the struggle. Sometimes respecting the struggle means understanding people's response to traumatic situations. Because many of us, me for example, I could see someone get shot in front of me, and I'm not going to say it wouldn't bother me. I'm not, non-human, but it wouldn't do nearly as much to me as say it might do to Natalie or Queen Widow. You know what I mean? Like, thank you, Trina. Does that make sense? Like, it's just, we get desensitized to shit. We don't respond the same way as someone who hasn't been through those traumas and tragedies. We've built an armor of scars that allow us to look at things differently. And it appears to me that there's no middle ground on YouTube with this ideology. It's either you see the tatted out prison guys, which, hey, they have their place as well. No disrespect to any of them. Shout out to JD Delay. You know what I'm saying? And then you have your real beta type guys that are like, oh, that's just, I'm not either one of those. I'm getting to be an old man who understands that life is different for fucking every single one of us. And nobody, and I mean, I think pain is like a fingerprint. No one will ever understand another person's pain. You can come close, you can relate, but you're never going to understand another man's pain because you've never gone through what that person went through at that time in their life to feel that type of pain. I don't know. Judgment is easy. Judgment is easy. Sometimes judgment is deserved to protect yourself. I love this idea of we can't judge other people, but we do every day. If we see someone swerving on the road, we stay the fuck away from them because we just assume that they're drunk or high on something. That's making a judgment. You know what I'm saying? You see, a mom walking into a store by herself with 3 kids and no man around. Your just first thought is, oh, single mom. But dad could be parking the car and was a good dude and dropped everybody off at the door. We judge all day, every day. So to sit here and say, oh, I don't believe in judging, bullshit. You sure the fuck do. You judge when you go to figure out if you want to get a house. You look at the neighborhood, don't you? You look up the crime report, don't you? That's judgmental as fuck, you judgmental fucks. Listen, I do the same thing, so I'm guilty over here. My point is, judgment is how we make decisions. So to sit here with this idea that we can't judge people is stupid. We all do it. We're all going to continue to do it. We can preach this fucking nonsense as much as we want to, but it's nonsense. I guess I just get more frustrated with this idea that like we're supposed to be offended and surprised by so much shit. Like, some of you motherfuckers would not have survived George Carlin. Some of you motherfuckers would have had a complete meltdown and had to be put into a mental institution for listening to George Carlin. You'd have a fucking shit fit. Man. Just y'all don't know what humor is. Y'all think humor is fucking, you know, I'm trying to think of a comedian of y'all's time. I would say Matt, but Matt's fucking hilarious. I don't know. It just Red Skelton. Yeah, that's super. You're all right. Listen, Crama Reels. I know about how old you are now. Too much drama on YouTube. Trina, that's what YouTube is, though. Everybody keeps forgetting that YouTube is entertainment. Drama sells. And I surely am convinced that 75% of the drama on YouTube is manufactured. My opinion, solely. You know what I mean? Come on. Some of us have been in entertainment before. So some of us understand what backroom anger is and what coordinated anger is. I'm not saying everybody's doing it. I'm just saying, you know. I'm not saying all is manufactured. I'm not saying that in the slightest bit. I'm just saying across YouTube in general, across social media in general, there's across music, there is a lot of manufactured drama. Well, this has been a very enlightening evening.